There have been many occasions when I wondered who is more honest, truest, the better version of us. The one that doesn't have to hide under the onion layers of anxiety, insecurities, and fear, or the embodiment of it all. The symptoms are the virus itself. Like the characteristics of wine, without its sour taste of fermentation, one could think it's spoiled grape juice. Others would compare it to berries, burnt toast, and the sultry sun of southern Italy. I stare at my 4K screen with stunning otherworldly colors and wonder if you stare back from the void of the internet. Your frame rate is so fast, your world animate and vivid. Does my world, bound to physics and laws, look dull and unattractive, filled with trivialities, expressions of stillness and boredom? And if my skin slowly thins out and pales, yours would pixelate and become an unclear flattened image, an artifact of technological progressiveness. Your age lies in the crossroad of our paths. Untouched by my presence, time and space will be just zeros and ones. Your birth was a continuous effort to pour the best, most creative of me, a perfectly calculated copy, always funny, well-read, kind, and in this way perfectly hollow. An online self, serving me as an armor to the overwhelming pool of 1.386 billion other selves. Double tapping, scrolling, and swiping becomes a conscious act of building a persona, where guilty pleasures are carefully selected assets to it. Online, successful means being able to promise everything to an increasing audience at all times. It is like an auction for followers on social media. Behind the square frames, I am hot-wired with code. Algorithms make sure I am always satisfied, fed my own perspectives and interests, nothing too wild, always a bit different, but in the end, still the same labels and tags that someone behind a desk in Silicon Valley decided on while slurping a vanilla shake. Intimacy gains a new meaning. Each and every content targeted towards me knows me better than a therapist. As in a panopticon, every snippet of information circles back to my identity. Am I the surveiller, looking through the long binoculars, or am I the surveilled? A reality built of mirrors, and I stay stuck in the middle of its madness, an endless reflection of my reflection. Recently, I heard my flatmate play all my favorite music tracks one after another. Correction, her Spotify account did. She heard them for the first time. The obsession with a self-image is a virus that has settled long before internet history. If a selfie is the legacy of Narcissus, who stared at his reflection for the remainder of his life, then social media would be a delusional love letter to myself. So, if I am the main subject of the matter, why do I feel more often like the object? Commerce has slipped through the billboards, infiltrated radio and TV, and has found a vulnerable spot in my digital identities and relationships, and that for free. At least at first. The price on privacy is information, data to construct new, better targeted commerce. The bill comes late with increased taxation, not to the multi-billion-dollar vampire companies, but to the users, to me and you. And the link is lost somehow on who to blame. The governments where these companies reside, setting lower federal income taxes for the ones bathing in wealth, the lack of an international taxation system, or all of the above. If all users of Amazon Prime were together, they would form the fourth biggest country in the world. A friend of mine compared scrolling like going on the treadmill. I wonder how much it costs to run a mile.